And man, we had some sports go down last night, and we got to talk to our guy Pep to get all caught up. It's a pretty cool night, man.
When it rains, it pours, Patrick. Big week for sports right now. We will start with the World Series. We have a new World Series champion for the first time in their 63-year franchise history. The Texas Rangers are the World Series champions. They beat the Arizona Diamondbacks in Game 5 last night to wrap it up. Patrick, two things. My first thought with Texas winning the World Series was, man, it's not good for the Angels right now because the Texas Rangers have a lot of great young players. They're not going anywhere. The Houston Astros are still good. Your Seattle Mariners had a strong season. The American League West is going to be tough. We don't know what's going on with Shohei Ohtani. So my first thought was, man, even if they keep Ohtani, it's going to be tough for the Angels to come out of that division.
It is going to be tough for sure. Another thing that struck me for sure, and I'm sure you're about to talk about this, is they went 11-0 on the road. That shocked me. I have never seen that before.
Listen, baseball, in baseball, pitching wins championships, but also teams that can win on the road win championships. I mean, basketball, football, it's kind of the same thing. If you play defense and you play well on the road, you've got a chance to win a lot of games. And that's exactly what the Texas Rangers did. Not just win a lot of games, but like you said, undefeated on the road. Like that's an unbelievable stat, and you can see why they're so deserving of being a World Series champion.
Yeah, they really took control. And I remember thinking, you know what, the answer backs should win this game, if you think about it. But my friend looked at me and goes, Tish, they haven't lost on the road yet. And I was like, really? That didn't hit me. And sure enough, boom. And they were scoreless for a while, but their pitcher would not let the Diamondbacks do anything.
No. And, I was thinking, well, maybe the series would go back to Texas. They could win it and wrap it up on their home field. But, hey, they do it in Arizona. They've proven to be road warriors, so I guess it's only poetic that the Rangers actually do it on the road to win the World Series. And here's another thought, too. So we mentioned that the Rangers hadn't won a World Series in franchise history. That was 63 years ago when the franchise first began. Right now, on the clock, the two franchises that have gone the longest without winning a World Series since they began were the Brewers and the San Diego Padres. 55 seasons of no World Series titles.
Right, my Mariners are not far behind that. But that's true. We can cross off another team from the never had won the World Series before.
Yeah.
Another thing that struck me was Corey Seager. It was very reminiscent. My kids were very pumped because they loved him when he was on the Dodgers. And his brother, Kyle Seager, was on the Mariners.
Yeah.
So they always felt close to Corey. And here he comes through, World Series MVP again for a different team. Wild.
Yeah, second time, another World Series for Corey Seager. And again, homegrown guy. He came through the Dodgers system. He played for the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. And I know a lot of Dodger fans were sad to see him go. He went for the money, and I don't blame him. But now he got the money, and he got the World Series title.
And then look at him go into the rare air of winning two MVPs for two different teams. He joins Bob Gibson, Sandy Koufax, and Reggie Jackson. Corey Seager is now in that list. Wild.
That's a short list, and that is some of the all-time greats. So, Corey Seager's name will go down in infamy because of what he was able to do. He might win another World Series. I mean, Texas isn't going anywhere. So.
No, they're young.
So congrats to the Texas Rangers. Again, big sports week. We had the World Series last night. We had the NFL trade deadline earlier in the week. It wasn't just the trade deadline. The Raiders were like, hey, hold my beer. We're going all in on this. They fired their head coach. They fired their general manager. They announced that Jimmy G is out and Aiden O'Connell will be the starting quarterback for the foreseeable future. They just blew that whole thing up as they go into, I think it's the Giants this week.
Right. Isn't that crazy? Facing a former Giant is now the coach. But he says, hey, I was raised in Compton. I grew up with NWA and the Raiders gear. I was made for this.
Yeah, Antonio Pierce. Yeah, a couple of years ago, Patrick, because I follow high school football pretty closely. He was the head coach at Long Beach Poly High School, which is a great high school program, but he was coaching high school. Now he's the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders in the NFL.
And look at that. So here he goes.
Yeah, but obviously
provide a spark.
Great NFL pedigree. Yeah, going up against his former team, the Giants, the team he played for. So that's pretty cool too. So maybe the biggest trade of the trade deadline was the 49ers going out and get Chase Young. And Now they pair him up with Nick Bosa. If the defense can't shore up with these guys, nothing's going to fix what the 49ers have going on right now.
No, absolutely unbelievable. I would not want to be a quarterback and have Nick Bosa on one end and Chase Young on the other.
Dude, unbelievable. If they can't stop the run, if they can't get to the quarterback with these guys, nothing is going to fix this tailspin right now for the Niners. So at least in my estimate, that was like the biggest move at the deadline. So
absolutely.
All right, we got to talk college football as well. Like I said, it was a crazy week for sports. We had our first college football playoff, the top 4 teams in the country. If the season ended right now, here's your top 4 that would go to the national semifinals. Ohio State won, followed by Georgia, Michigan, and Florida State. Those would be your national semifinalists. Just on the outside, right on the cusp at number 5, the Washington Huskies. And Patrick, that could either all go away or maybe they strengthen their case to be in the top 4 if they beat USC in a big game this Saturday at the Coliseum.
Yes, huge game. Some of this, of course, is because of a little bit of Pac-12 unbias. I like to say they got Oregon right behind them at number 6. I kind of like how those two teams are lurking right there, just waiting to see what's going to happen. It probably is fair with how they have done it for right now. Lots of people like my UW friends back in Seattle were very like, let's see what happens after these next couple weeks. I think for the first draft, this isn't bad, actually, and it leaves a lot of wiggle room for them to move up if they need to move. Like you said, if they beat USC, okay, now we're talking.
Yeah, I feel like Washington can't control their own destiny. They beat USC. Let's say they're going to see Oregon down the road in a Pac-12 championship game. If they control their own destiny, if they take care of their own business, they're going to be in. Michigan has to play Ohio State. Of course, Georgia still has some big games. The SEC's got some really good teams, so they've got teams they're going to have to get past. So I think if Washington wins out, they're going to be one of those 4 teams, no doubt.
I like how you put that, Pep, because it is true. I feel like everyone, even in this top 8, can control their own destiny.
Yeah.
And isn't that what we're looking for?
Yeah, we want to see the best 4 teams and make them not hypothetically be like they're one of the best 4. Let them win their way in, and that's exactly what a lot of these teams like Washington can do: win their way in, or lose their way out. One of them's going to happen.
Not an easy process. I actually think this worked out pretty well.
Yeah, so far. So this is our first top 4 right now in the country. And real quick, just to wrap things up, the big sports week, not to fly under the radar, but James Harden going to the LA Clippers. He has not suited up in a Clippers uniform yet. They probably could have used him last night. They lost in overtime to the Lakers. But yeah, they're going to pair James Harden with Russell Westbrook, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George. I mean, if this ain't a super team, I don't know what is, man. These guys are loaded with talent now.
2 things from yesterday that I took away. One, the internet is undefeated. They were calling him James Larden because they were saying that he's not ready to play, right? He's not in shape. And also, LeBron is 38 years old. He looked incredible last night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if James Harden does not take care of his body, on the other end is LeBron James, who is meticulous about what he does and how he takes care of his body. So it's 2 opposite ends of the spectrum. But yeah, if James Harden is in shape, he had a great year last year for Philadelphia. Like, the guy can still play. So if he's in shape and they can find a way to make him fit in, especially with Russell Westbrook. They've done it before. Can they do it again? So we're about to find out. But yeah, that was the big move by the Clippers, I guess, pushing all their chips into the middle, like they're going all in.
Yeah, so it looks like everything is set up for a lot to happen when we catch up with Pep on Monday. Pep, tell them how to get your stuff.
Oh, it's going to be another crazy week. Get my stuff on Inland Sports all over Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We got the Inland Sports YouTube channel. You can go check it out anytime, 24/7. That's Inland Sports.
Thanks, Pep.